If you're new to the project, a big warm welcome. If you're a tough old root, then welcome back. Today is about purchasing land whilst in poverty. Poverty changes from place to place, but the mindset and the means and the methods and the mental drive behind it is all the same. You're watching Steep in the Woods. I'm Josh.
I'm Celia.
And this is our daughter, Ivy. Here at Steep in the Woods, we are 100% off-grid. We live on a 14-acre mountaintop homestead nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. Here on Steep in the Woods, we do totally off-grid on a shoestring budget. You'll see no fancy stuff here. It's just making do with what you have and what you can figure out. This is a very popular question that we get asked, and it usually presents itself in one of two ways. You have Group A, who longs for this way of life and doesn't see how it's possible. They don't know where to begin, and they just don't believe that they can go from their current situation to one similar to ours. They just don't see the way through. Second group of people usually talks about entitlement and rich parents and things of that nature, which I believe is a similar mindset. They also don't understand how it can be done. But instead of taking the positive road, they're going to take the low road and just be aggressive and bitter about it. The magic answer is there's no magic answer. You're just going to have to start saving money. And we did it. You can absolutely do it. It is 100% possible, regardless of if you have $20 a week coming in or you have $2 million. The important thing is just to come up with a plan. Understand yourself, understand how your spending habits work, and make your plan work for you. For me, I understood that I'm an impulse buyer. When I see something new and shiny, or I get on a certain kick, like I love fishing and I want fishing's the greatest thing ever. And I need this $1 million pole because fishing's just the new way of life for me. That actually for us, putting our money in change, taking that cash and converting it to pennies, nickels, and dimes was the best way for me to mitigate that habit of just impulse buying. Before I could buy whatever the deal was, fishing pole, new truck, whatever, I had to find the item, consciously go back home and roll up 1 million quarters to do it. And that usually gave me enough time to think about it and to decide that what that money was there for would be better kept in its position and not spent on whatever this new fancy item was. So that was the trick for us, just having all of our money in change, and it was a massive pile. I mean, it was a huge, you couldn't move it. And it had enough inconvenience in the way that it was stored for me to not want to take the energy to withdraw that. Now, the same could be done with a bank account in which you don't have a card. I know that those type of things, are possible, and that those work really, really well for some people. I was lucky enough to get the single bank account. I didn't want to risk a second one. So change worked out perfect for us. Another thing to understand is the amount of time involved. If we can do it, anyone can do it. But it took us 4 years to get the down payment for this property. Thinking about it and going into this with the mindset that you're going to be able to save up cash and just buy your property outright is not the most feasible mindset. You need to set your life goals in attainable pieces. So it took us 4 years just to get the down payment, and understanding that amount of time is possible for you as well will help give you the drive to see it through to the end. Location is your best friend. Now that you've got your plan, you've got your money set aside, find the worst location. It truly is the ownership of land and actually accomplishing your goal is going to be more rewarding in the long term than being able to get to your Walmart in 5 minutes versus 35 minutes. You know, it really is going to be your best friend. You can find junky property. That's not what I did, but it is possible. Lots of pieces of property can be cheap because there is trash left on it. If you're willing to clean up that trash, then that can be a way of you getting that property cheaper. But I would encourage you just to go with the property you can afford regardless of where it is. Looking back at it now, those 4 years went so quick. Even if it takes you 7, 8, 10 years, looking back at it, it will seem really, really quick, and you'll be very, very happy that you did it. This topic is on the forefront of our minds because it's kind of a galaxy that we're slipping back into. There's some property right beside us for sale that I would like to get. So setting up this bleeding method, even with our funds now being lower, is something that's on our minds and a path that we're working towards taking. There's always the possibility of Steep in the Woods moving somewhere else. We could go even more rural. I have a lot of people telling me that I'm living their dream. You know, there's this large subset of people who would love to do this. And if we're going to stay on YouTube, I think I need to do them as much justice as possible. So you never really know, but planning for the long term will always benefit you more than planning for the short. So that's basically it. Set aside your amount of money. Whatever you can cut it out, and start saving that money. Understand your spending habits and what you have a tendency to do, and come up with a clever way to mitigate that, whichever works for your specific situation. And just give it enough time. Give it enough time, you can do it. Just stay on the path, stay motivated, and look for clever ways to influx that money. For me, I used to buy broken four-wheelers. I would fix them, and I would sell them, and whatever money came off of the top got scooped off and put directly into that giant mound of change. And as weird as that seems, it paid off for us, because here we are, and you can be here too. If you liked what you saw, hit that button. If you're new to the project, hit that other button. I would encourage you to turn on your notifications. If you want to help support the project, there are links below. Until next time here, Steep in the Woods.